Welcome to Hear Us Out. Let's see if this works. We're going to be slightly behind you all as we're now learning how to do this. Sorry about the delay. We had what can only be described as a computer crash. Also, I have got the wrong stuff on screen.
It'd also be real bad if I said something terrible right now.
You can say anything you want. I'm a little bit worried about what details are actually going to pop up in the stream in about 5 seconds. They've already showed up, and thank God the key is actually hidden. Otherwise, people could hijack our stuff. So I'm going to go and throw up our sting. For anybody who's watching who doesn't know us, we're usually sitting together in a room with a camera. This is our first attempt at live. Now that we're living in the darkest timeline. My name is Patrick.
My name is Paul.
And we're Hear Us Out. What do we usually say, actually? It's hey,
We
everybody.
go, hey, everybody, this is Hear Us Out. I'm Paul.
And I'm Patrick.
And, yeah,
And
something like that.
Then something like this happens, I think. A little thing pops up. And after the thing pops up, we then just go back to us talking normally. So I have Google open for a reason. Because the thing we are going to be talking about today is snacks. And I'm going to images of snacks right now to share with you all to whet your appetite. And what we're going to be talking about that relates to movies when it comes to snacks is, Paul, I'm going to need you to
You're going to need me to
while I fix what's going wrong over here.
So we're currently going to do about binge snacking or like binge snacks for watching loads of TV and loads of movies and stuff because, of course, we are in the darkest timeline.
Pretty much, yeah. The sadness is upon us. Snacks do help.
Yeah. So which is we are going to kind of probably name. So we're not going to go through the normal generic kind of like snacks that everybody kind of gets, like your popcorn.
Well, actually, I think there's one thing. I want to interview my co-host and friend, Paul, and I also want to say hello to everybody who I can now falling into the chat.
If, by the way, just warnings, if you do know us personally, please don't message anything in the chat about our personal lives because, I'm very secretive.
And that includes second names and locations because we are, much like the A-Team, we're on the run. And if you can find us, we can talk about very random movie things if you need that in your life. I just want to be Murdoch, okay?
You want to be Murdoch?
Yeah, he was my favorite.
Murdoch? Oh wait, he's the crazy pilot guy. Yeah. He's everybody's favorite.
Okay, well then I want to be Face because he had the Corvette. Although
I want to be Hannibal, the guy with the plan.
Yeah, well,
and the cigar.
Yeah, true. You are the Hannibal of this group. But I'm putting you on the spot. When it comes to snacks, Paul,
okay,
we go to the cinema. Because we're going to talk about all this corona world that we're living in where everything's snacking at home. But when you go to the cinema, what is your snack of choice?
When I go to the cinema?
Yeah.
So funny enough, I don't actually get snacks when I'm at the cinema. I guess because when I go to I'll go to the ice cream part of like City World in Dublin. Right. And I'll get like a milkshake, and I get a large milkshake, which allows you to have 4 scoops. And the 4 scoops that I like are 2 mint and 2 really chocolatey whatever other ice cream they have.
You're usually like 4 scoops, like man. Wood.
Yeah, it all gets put into a milkshake, so it's great.
Oh wow!
Hey, we got Brew FM, MH, and Nora in there.
I think we can safely say hi to Brew, and I think we all know where MH is, high up there in Belfast. And I definitely know where Nora is. So if you enjoy this sort of stuff, folks, you can watch it anytime because you all know us. If anybody that doesn't know us joins the chat, please don't gang up on them, our friends, because
we're gang up on them.
We're gang up on them, yeah. Why not? Back to your milkshake though. You are forgoing the classic popcorn.
Yeah, the person, like my partner that I'm usually with, usually gets like popcorn and some Maltesers and like shares them a bit. So like I will like snack and stuff, but like if I go to the cinema on my own, I tend to get just a milkshake kind of thing. Though I have been known to get those green cable things with like the weird jelly thing in the middle.
Oh, like some sort of rope licorice type deal.
It's not licorice because licorice is the devil's like. plaything. But it's like that kind of stuff.
Oh well,
What about you?
I'm not a pick and mix man. Pick and mix does not play any part in my life at all. Because even before COVID-19, the idea of taking something where I've seen other people just stick their snotty hands in and then eating it, I'm like, no. I'm fine if they do it in a factory, then put it in a bag, and I won't have directly seen them do it. But every time I've ever looked at a pick and mix in a cinema, there's a kid with one hand halfway down its pants and the other hand halfway into the like cola bottles. So I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
I don't understand like how. I guess I try to avoid like I guess the children level boxes.
Yeah,
I go for the higher
I
ones.
see what you're saying, but have you met teenagers now? They're all two things: tall and disgusting.
Yeah, but they also don't have money to go to the cinema. So
That's true. That is actually true. But no, the dream combo for me here is I found it a few years ago. Um, if you get nachos, everybody likes. I hope everybody likes nachos because nachos are wonderful. If you get nachos, don't bother with salsa or any of that crack. Get the cheese, the melted cheese pot that comes with it. Get that and a popcorn. So when you're sharing, because I'm fortunate enough to go most of the time with a very wonderful cinema viewer who is very very sharing with the food that we both buy because I end up eating half of it
oh,
and then
thank
some.
you.
Well, no, not Paul. I wouldn't. Joey doesn't share. If me and Paul go to the cinema, we don't touch each other's food. I noticed that the last time we went, it wasn't like I offered you anything. I was like, I'm eating this. You've got your own.
Oh, this is mine. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Well, I have realized though, if you nachos are supposed to go in the cheese, if you take a piece of popcorn, dip it in the cheese, then dip it back into the popcorn, you come out with a gigantic popcorn ball held together by a dollop of cheese in the middle. Into the gob it goes. It's silent. It's yummy. It's calorific. It's probably going to be the reason that I don't make the age of 80. I love it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I actually realized, the hot dogs in Sydney World as well. The hot dogs, like
Yeah.
yeah, the danger dogs that I call them. I've had them a couple of times. They're not bad.
Oh,
Um,
see, yeah, we should call it out. You're Cineworld and I'm Odeon. I think the hot
yeah,
dogs are probably better in Cineworld because the Odeon ones are eek, but the nachos are truly terrible in Cineworld and they're absolutely gorgeous in Odeon. So depending
oh
where I
yeah.
am does actually affect what I will get to snack on.
Nora has said white bonbons are all the way. So there you
Oh,
go.
that's not a bad choice, you know. White bonbons equal heavy, says Brew. There's a man who is thinking his pick and mix route. He's not choosing with his heart or his
Are
eyes or
you-
stomach. His wallet is going. I am getting things that are not going to tip those scales. Smart man, Brew. Smart man. Economic sense.
that is true. Trying to think of other. Yeah, the cinema's a bit of a weird one for me, just because I don't really. I remember one funny thing when I got like a huge big popcorn. I think it was like an Endgame or Infinity War,
Right.
and like Muggins here also decided to bend over at the waist while holding the popcorn. It just went all over my chair, and it was
Oh,
just like, well, that's ruined,
yeah.
you know.
Well, there's two cinema experiences I want to talk about, and I'm going to take because there's one I know
Okay.
you can share, Paul. You've shared this with me before. I am going to take the easier of the two great cinema stories when it comes to eating food. Quiet Place. The aforementioned nachos. Walked in, not really knowing anything about the film. Sat down in. It was a smaller screen, actually, weirdly. I think it must have been booked out in the main screen. Sat down with nachos. Proceeded to not eat any for the whole film because it's like, I know how crunchy they're about to be.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I know exactly how you felt.
I essentially ate the little pot of cheese and kept all the nachos because my finger could silently go into the cheese. I'm like, this is all the
See,
flavor
that
I'm getting.
you don't have that problem with a milkshake, man.
No, that's true. That is true. But the
Oh.
story that I think you want to tell, or I want you to tell the people out there, I believe it's called Screen 9 and it has to do with
Oh,
beverages.
yeah. So if anyone's been to Cine World and they've been to the awful Screen 9, they'll know that the cup holders are in the like seat in front of you down at the ground. I got like a it was the one time that I didn't actually get a milkshake, but I got like a liter of Coke, Pepsi Max, and put it into the cup holder thing, and like was drinking away and everything, put it away, and some person like walked by and like in the middle of the film and stood on my cup because obviously it's a floor level.
Yeah.
So like just destroyed my drink, destroyed like, and it wasn't also just bad for me. It went over the person in front of me, like
And
stuff.
it, and
And
it
by the
probably ruined
time,
the trouser leg of the person that stood on it too.
by the time anyone noticed, apart from the person who stood on it, and like it was like this. Well, this is just chaos.
Well, that is one of those things where the first time you ever told me about Screen 9, like he was actually trying to sign me up to. I think you were talking about it as a petition at the time, or like
Yeah. So there's a hashtag which I think is like change screen nine, like
yeah.
or
I'll be
like
honest with you,
don't.
it felt more like I was being recruited into a militia to storm the castle and close that screen. Because you were like, you know what? If we all get together, we can make them fix this. I'm like, whoa, we're not burning down a cinema just when we start a movie podcast, dude.
Like if just so the like not the nasty thing or the bad thing about it was that after just before essentially the lockdown of the COVID-19, City World announced that they're doing renovations, which includes Screen 9. So just before they closed down, they were just like, "We're going to change everything that's wrong with our really good cinema like screen." And I was just like, "Yes!" And then they were like, "Lockdown." I was like, "Bugger."
Let's hope if anything comes back that it's the fixed Screen 9. Let's hope they finished it. Or maybe you might get in luck, they may just close it forever and it can be a museum to how not to do a screen.
No, I don't want that screen to be closed because Screen Nine's like the second biggest screen that they have.
Oh,
So
okay.
like, I want them to open it. That's the problem. It's a really good cinema experience. We're
It's,
not talking about sex anymore. We're just talking about
yeah,
Screen Nine.
yeah.
But
But you know what? It does lead us nicely onto, and watch this for the worst segue ever, because I want to throw it out to the fine people who are watching to ask us questions. And because there's a 30-second delay, I see that we got Bruce talking about flumps. Yeah, they're the light things I was talking about. Very smart man, weighing your pick and mix by choosing your foods by weight. It's not really in the spirit of pick and mix's all out thing, but I do get it. If you were to say remove the cinema equation, and let's say, I don't know, there's a worldwide pandemic and everybody's going to be stuck at home, what is your snack routine now? Because like going to the shops is rare. So are you thinking, okay, I got my vegetables, my fruit. Paul, what is it once you've done all the sensible things? You're like, that's the one thing I want for when I'm binge watching something later on.
so I have to break this into two categories, which is funny enough. Um, there's the let's just watch a movie and we have some
Hmm.
snacks and stuff like that. But what snacks, we prepared are kind of like, well, like, so yeah, that category is kind of like, oh yeah, we'll watch something. Let's go. Let's grab the snacks from the snack drawer kind of thing. And then there's the other one, which is like, let's watch a movie and prepare for this. So I'll split those into two. The other one, it's like Pringles green. Um, oh, look at that.
Can't
Product
even share.
placement.
Can't even share with you.
Product placement. I also like so for Chris, I like there's Sensations like chicken dinner. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I know it's real nice.
I am going to try and hand you one of these through the screen, but I'm not sure where this is
That would
going to.
be if I had one, it would
So,
have been genius.
do you know what? If you just reach down to your bottom left and just take this Pringle, I will. Oh, other side. Yeah. I will push it out and then make it
Oh
disappear.
man.
Now, if you just
Uh,
pretend like you've eaten it. There we go.
like
Movie magic, folks.
I wish because I actually have a pile inside.
Oh,
Could have
nice.
brought it. Oh well. Um, yeah. So like what are the snacks? I like the Dib Dab softies, which I have here. Dib Dab softies.
Oh,
You
wow.
know.
Super sugar.
Yeah, yeah. I like the sugary kind of sweets as well.
Hmm.
But preparing, oh, that's a whole different story. Like, yeah, crisp popcorn, like the microwave popcorn, some butter, Maltesers, all those kind of jazz. It's
Are
the
you buttered on
preparing
popcorn?
part. Hmm?
Are you butter on popcorn?
No, I'm the popcorn with the butter already put on it.
Oh.
You
All right.
know, like the little microwave packs that have
Oh, yes.
popcorn
Yeah,
butter
that's
on it.
kind of built in.
Yeah, kind of thing. It's a little bit better. Though the preparing thing is like bite-sized pretzels stuff. You know those big pretzels? It's
I
like
would.
those, but like cut into pieces, and then you get cheese, and it's like,
Nice.
oh,
Oh, that is top level fondue, my friend.
Yeah, when
Top
it's prepared, it's
skills.
like,
Well,
um,
I can empathize because I also have the kind of, and we did have to. Obviously, everybody's doing their disaster shop, so I did have to think this through. First
yeah.
thing I did, 4 liters of Coke Zero, because Coke Zero is my movie watching and also, strangely, my podcasting drink of choice.
Ah, there you go.
So once I had that covered, I was like, okay, where are we going next? The local shop was doing a special on, you guessed it, tortilla chips. So they were like
Great.
50p a big bag. And I thought maybe there might be some Formula One because at this stage, when I bought the first bag of them, there might have been stuff. Now I'm just watching virtual racing. The dream food for me is making my own proper nachos. So you layer it in a bacon tray, you throw in your grated cheese, you make your salsa, add it in, throw in another layer. I layer it up. I have a very specific order in which way I layer up my homemade nachos. And then if my
Okay.
partner manages to have some avocados, my wife makes the best guacamole ever. So it is me sitting there eating what is essentially a 4-person portion of nachos with a little bit of help from her if I allow her near it.
You and I were near it.
Yeah.
Get away.
Yeah, well, it's I do get territorial around my homemade nacho special.
Okay, okay. What would be the worst snack for you?
Well, I see Brew said sweets, crisps, and nuts. I'm a big fan of in the cinema. If you have popcorn, and my wife put me onto this. She used to get Maltesers, I think, originally, and sprinkle
Yeah.
them into the popcorn. Then she started doing it with minstrels, which was like, haven't we come up in the world? That's that's when we had we had jobs then, so it was like, ooh, minstrels. But now it's munchies. They're the square things. They've got a little bit of caramel, a
Yeah.
little bit of biscuit. Them in popcorn's great. But what really puts me off is I've been to the cinema with people who are like, oh yeah, let's get sweets and throw them in the popcorn. I'm like, great idea. And then they'll pick something that just shouldn't be put in there. Something like hard shell nut M&Ms. And you're like, no, that'll put me off. I'm like, I don't want peanut M&Ms as much as I love them. I don't want them in my popcorn.
I
Or
get it.
Oreo biscuits or any of that kind of crack.
I'm not a big fan of nuts, just in general, actually. But
Oh.
like for a kind of snack for a movie or something like that, I'm like, oh, I'm just
Well, here's a
like,
clip that's going to live with me forever. I'm a nut man. I am a nut man. In all their forms: salted, roasted, nut, chocolate covered. But it wouldn't be something I would necessarily sit down and watch a movie with. It wouldn't be my first choice. I'm much more
yeah.
savory. I'm a lot less sweet. So those dib dab things. Sorry, I keep looking over here because Paul's on my screen. The dib dab things would kill me because you mix that with some Coke Zero and my teeth just vibrate.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. Like it's just the way that I've always been.
It makes
Sugary
sense.
sweets and stuff like that. I also like Schweppes ginger ale. That's also very nice.
Ooh.
From product placement again there.
Yes, not
If
sponsored.
Schweppes
Other
wants,
drinks are available.
yeah, if Schweppes wants us to sponsor us, I'm perfectly happy with that.
If any of you 10 people that are watching want to sponsor us, please, feel free. We'll actually plug anything for anybody that gives us money at this stage.
We'll put up a Patreon,
Yeah, the works. Well, I think
a OnlyFans.
I'm going to do a quick series of this or that if you're into it.
Go for it.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Pick-n-mix or bag of sweets?
Probably a bag of sweets.
Okay. Ketchup or mustard when it comes to hot dog?
Oh, both.
Oh, yeah.
If it's an either or, I'm going ketchup.
But it is Sophie's choice, though. It's a tough one. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Oh, onions if you have them, because hot
No,
dog is
I
just...
don't.
Really?
Not an onion fan, no.
Oh, no onions and no nuts? Probably just as well, because I think it's part of the reason why I usually get seats free around me in the cinema. I'm like,
Use
good.
all onion smell and just throwing nuts around.
Yeah, pretty much like a wild ape. I will say if I was to talk about the most luxurious experience of watching movies or anything at home, I did once kind of have enough time to, those nights when you're like, we're not really having dinner, we're going to put together nibbles.
Yeah.
I can't remember, was it we were watching 12 Angry Men? We were going to watch a classic movie, something that we both love. And it was like, great, we're going to the shops. This was back before the sadness or the darkest timeline kicked off. We got grapes and cheese and crackers and made the whole like cheese board thing with a few different types of cheeses, strawberries, a few different types of fruit, and basically sat on the floor, with the like coffee table at sort of chest height, and just sat there grazing for an hour and a half, which is the length old movies used to be. And it was decadent. I felt like this is how, not the other half, but maybe just the 5% above me live.
Mm-hmm.
It was really like, ooh.
Gotcha. That's probably.
Yeah, go
ahead. Oh, this
I was going to say, this
Skype
is what a scratch card win feels like. I didn't feel like I'd won the lottery. This was more like I just got, $5,000 on a spin and win or something.
Yeah. Oh, I gotcha. No, that's what like the pretzel thing kind of makes me feel like. It's just like, ooh. Though if you do like once we're let out, which the Stella like is really good for food as well because it's like actual dinner food and stuff like that, so it's really nice as well. But are you
eating it during the movie though? Is it like you're eating?
You can,
steak?
but there's a thing behind. So not that fancy. It's more burgers, but there's a place next door, the Stella restaurant, which is next door, which is also really good. Stella, if you're watching, you can definitely sponsor us there.
Yeah, or even, if you don't want to sponsor us and just give us one free dinner, that's enough. We'll plug you for like 5 episodes for one set of tickets and a dinner. We're cheap.
So here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about chocolate covered like potato chips?
Chocolate covered potato chips.
Yeah.
They don't exist in my universe.
Oh yeah.
Are they something that somebody has mistakenly put together?
I don't know. I'm looking through websites of like food to binge with. So I thought I'd pick up a couple of them and just be like, what do you think about this one?
Are you going to start making hybrids now though? Is this going to be like hot dogs made entirely out of Pix-n-mix?
I don't know what this list has entailed. It is thethings.com.
Things.
Just the things. So, because we were looking up, funny enough, we were looking up like probably the worst things you could probably. I was like an Amazon unusual snacks. We were like looking through and going like, I'd probably eat those. But we got, and also most of it's space food as well. But it's stuff like cookie butter, which just sounds like peanut butter but made of cookie dough.
I can't find that particular page right now, but I've got Aubrey Plaza and Jeff Bania 15 things about their couple, so I'm gonna say snacks and see.
So yeah, we were looking up and we found dilly pickle, which is they do sound horrendous, Brew. I do agree. But this sounds worse. This is the dilly pickle cotton candy, which we found also unusual things.
I'm gonna throw that in because it was like
that was awful.
Grandpa's not just dilly pickle.
It was Grandpa Joe's candy shop dilly pickle. Like that was.
Oh, it's cotton candy because it's American. But I tried candy floss. Oh my god, there's an actual video about it here.
Oh my god, is there?
It's green. I don't know. We might get demonetized. We're not even monetized. I'm gonna go to images and see if I can find. Here it is, the happy little pickle himself. Oh, folks, I absolutely adore pickles. I do. I love pickles. If people who pull their pickles off burgers, I'm looking at them going, if you flick it my way, I will catch it like a dog in a frisbee. I love pickles. I love pickle chips. I love everything about it. I am never eating pickle cotton candy. Never.
It doesn't sound good.
No, but it's very green. I'm surprised it hasn't been a St. Patrick's Day thing before now.
Oh, ooh. But it looks pretty horrible. Yeah. But yeah, back to the good food. Well, apart from the chocolate covered potato chips, which Brew also says sounds horrendous, which he is correct.
Yeah.
Macaroni.
Sorry, you go first.
Macaroni and cheese bites. They actually don't sound bad. It's like deep fried like macaroni and cheese bites.
I'm pretty sure I might have even had them somewhere in like a bar in the States because I have it in my head. They look like crumbed little macaronis that would be macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, so it's like
actually.
It looks like it's like the the mac and cheese is kind of like put together and then battered.
Yeah,
And then
I think I've
breadcrumbs.
actually had those. I
That
have.
doesn't sound bad, actually. I might try that.
No, and if you, whoop, I just put the wrong thing up on screen. There you go. I'm now showing them to people on screen, and you know what? There's something else for anybody from America that ever sees this. I love your country. You've done many great things. I'm not going to hold the dill pickle candy floss or cotton candy against you, but a restaurant chain that is famous for its staff, and it has an owl as its logo. Yes, Hooters. I was in a Hooters at the time. Had something called pickle chips. Pickle chips. So they basically
Pickle
deep
chips?
fried slices of pickle. So you get
That
them
doesn't
like
sound
no, not just not bad. These things are incredible.
bad.
Oh, like you eat a little bowl of them and you feel awful for a week, but
Kinda
while
gross,
you're eating
yeah.
them, you feel amazing.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna give those a go. Maybe see
Pickle
if I'll
chips.
find a recipe or something like that. Captain Crunch butternut butter puppy chow. No, moving on.
Yeah. Also, I was just about to type in because I'm sharing the sharing the Google page. I'm sharing a browser page. I was
Yeah.
going to type in Hooters pickle chips, and I thought, you know what, don't. It's the first image result is not going to be something.
Try to be
that
classy.
yeah, keeping it classy. Can I throw it out to people actually for a second, because I know yous are all 30 seconds behind us. But when you get to where we are, fire in some questions. It doesn't have to be about snacks. We're going to turn this into, for our last, how much longer will we run? We'll run another 5 or 10 minutes, maybe longer, depending on what you want. Throw us any questions you want. This is our first ever live. The only question that's out of bounds is, why weren't we prepared? Because we actually were prepared and everything was working until 7:58, and then essentially my computer crapped its pants. So we had to restart everything.
It was awful.
It was a pain. But yeah, throw us out any questions. And while we're going to fill those 30 seconds with what Paul was about to say when I rudely
No.
interrupted.
Let's here's the thing. Here's a little thing. What have you been? Because we're doing a little bit of it. What have you been watching? What one show that you found in this like kind of lockdown would you definitely recommend? Like as in you just started.
Oh, well, one thing I haven't been watching is my figure. Let's see. We're still trying to watch through Voyager. So we've been kicking into that pretty hard, doing our rewatch of it. But brand new, I'm trying to think. Well, have you got something that you've started? Because I know there's something that we've started and I can't remember what it is.
I started Picard.
Oh, did you? That's why we need to finish Voyager, because we want to get there. Is it good?
Yeah. I watched like the first. I'm like watching the first 2 episodes. Like, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. My only like the thing that I have to like point out the most is like, which is I also Nora asked, what do you think about drink holders in cinemas? I will definitely start that a conversation again.
That's a great question. Thank you, Nora.
But yeah, like I am. Yeah, it's Picard. The two things I have to say about it is like it's the quality of filming is really nice,
They
really
got the
good.
money. Oh, that's good.
Oh my god, I got so much money from Amazon, and like Picard's like Patrick Stewart, man, has not lost us. Like
That's something I watched actually. It wasn't a brand new show, but watched Logan for the first time. You know, James Mangold's masterpiece that is Logan.
Logan's
I
Run,
hadn't
is it?
seen that for like 5 years ago. Since 5 years. So it was the last Hugh Jackman Wolverine film.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
It
I don't know
was.
why I said Logan Run. That's like an ancient film.
I love Logan's Run.
It's great.
Yeah, which actually we should do an episode on that. I love that film. It says an awful lot about society and eugenics and euthanasia. If you haven't seen Logan's Run out there, people, see it. But yeah, we watched that and I had forgotten just how good it was. And a small part of the reason I haven't seen it in so long is because I was worried that it wouldn't hold up. But God,
yeah.
it does. It's just, it's so good.
You definitely get that. Bruce says Ozark. Is that what it's
Oh
called?
yeah, Ozark.
Ozark.
I would like to call out that the first season of Ozark, I watched it because I'm a Jason Bateman fan, and I told that very brew that's commented that you should definitely watch Ozark.
Yeah.
And he admitted the other day that he thought that Ozark might be a sci-fi thing. It is not. It's more like Breaking Bad. And he's only just started watching it now. And I now know that if I recommend something to him and I don't say it's not sci-fi, he's just going to ignore me.
Oh, is Ozark the one with what's his name? He's in. I don't know why Hancock comes to mind.
Yeah, that's
He's
Jason
the PR
Bateman,
guy
yeah.
from Hancock. Yeah.
Yeah, his big break was Teen Wolf 2, playing, because he looked a bit like Michael J. Fox way back in the day. And here's a little bit of trivia. Michael J. Fox's big TV show, Family Ties, the sister in that, Mallory, Jennifer Bateman, is Jason Bateman's actual real-life sister. So her real-life brother ended up playing her on-screen brother in films.
Oh, well,
Well, the more you know.
Yeah. Bruce says, I thought it was supernatural. So.
Which I haven't watched, but Paul has, so go easy on it. Paul might screen 9 your ass.
It just gets to 8, series 8, and then it's just... the other one is Swamp Thing.
Oh, Swamp Thing. That got cancelled, actually, didn't it? And it really shouldn't have, from what everybody says.
Yeah, I watched that for a while. Or I started watching that. Quite good, yeah. It's really good. I don't understand why. Yeah, I'm also on the thing going like, why did it get cancelled? It's really good. Like,
the list of good TV shows that gets cancelled is way too long. Will say though, there is. I just remembered what I watched. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't in possession of all my faculties when I watched it, because it was a weekend and I might have had a relaxing beverage. But we got Disney Plus, and in the middle of Disney Plus is National Geographic. And Jeff Goldblum does things or sees things or plays with things. I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Jeff Goldblum show. And it's mental fun because it's essentially him talking about the origin of something or all about something. The first one's about sneakers. And it's just him holding shoes going, it's a shoe. Yeah, and just being full Jeff Goldblum for half an hour. Yeah. And some shoes come along screen with him. That's it. I love it.
Is it like How Stuff's Made or something?
It's like How Stuff's Made presented by a jazz piano playing megastar loon that has nothing to lose. It's great.
Okay.
It's just
well, I'm gonna draw back because So to answer your question, what do you think about drink holders in cinemas? I either find that they're too large, or they're in the wrong position. Just answer that question.
This is true. This can be true. I am
because I know I get like the liter drink, and it'll fit right into most things. But when I don't want to be like drinking a gallon of sugar, like I want a normal drink, and when I put it in a cup holder, it's kind of moving around a bit. It's just it's not stable. Or you put it in the seat in front of you, and someone smashes it, and you get pissed off at the screen for like what has it been 2 years now?
Yeah, well, I know that the question was asked to elicit this response, but for safety reasons, I am changing direction of the conversation because the last thing I need on our first live stream is Paul essentially turning his camera upside down by flipping his PC and table over. So,
swearing. You
can swear all you want. It's.
I've been good.
You have been brilliant. In fact, I think I'm the one that's got closer. I think I said ass at one point. Oh, me. I know.
I said bugger to try to keep myself from saying something.
Well, that's okay.
You should understand when we're recording, I swear a lot because like I'm trying to get into a run of like an idea, and I'm just like blah, 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 blah. So that's what it's called. A World According to Jeff Goldblum. Huh?
The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and it is essentially this picture right here, the one I've highlighted. That is cool. Little picture is the entire show. It's him doing that face and speaking as that face would about anything that's coming through his mind.
It's pretty smug.
It is fantastic. I will say though, because I guess we're heading towards, we've hit our half hour. I do want to ask people, could you please, because most of you that are commenting have viewed at least more than one of our videos. Some of you have viewed all our videos. Thank you for completing the entire set. This is going to go out out as a recording. So people who aren't online right now are going to be watching this in the future. So you're all part of a future venture. What question would you like to ask us? A serious question for us to close this first ever live stream out on. I
Mm.
know you're going to have a good one. And we will hear it or see it in about 30 seconds. So fire them in there and be as probing as you like. And
So,
Paul, while they're doing that.
gonna hand me more stuff, are you?
No,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So can't think of any other TV shows I've been watching. I also got Disney Plus as well, and I've been watching a lot of films.
What kind of stuff?
So I started. Oh, here's the cartoon parts. Let's get away from the movie part for a second.
Yeah.
But Mighty Ducks is like a '90s cartoon about ducks who come from a world called Puck World, and it's literally just a cartoon about the Mighty Ducks.
Oh, like the Mighty Ducks, the ice hockey movie with Emilio Estevez?
No, it is linked to them,
Okay.
but it's like
It's actual animated ducks instead.
it's anthropomorphized ducks who are also superheroes, who play hockey and also save the world, and which is great. Another one is Darkwing Duck. These are very duck related.
I remember Darkwing Duck. Yeah, he was awesome. And why is it so duck related? That's a whole other
I don't know.
topic. Yeah.
Don't know. Brew asks
Yes.
favorite video, which I have to ask: is this favorite video of ours, or is it just favorite video in general?
I would say it's probably favorite video of ours.
Favorite video of ours.
Mm.
I'm gonna go back and have a look at the library.
You go and have a look at the library. I will answer in two ways. I think because from our side we get to come up with these things, make these things, and then edit these things. So sometimes the fun is actually in the edit. Sometimes you're cutting out things that you'd love to keep in, just because they won't work in the flow of it all, or because something's too long, or whatever. But I think one of our very early videos, I like the post-credit scenes video. I think it was like our third or fourth video, and I really, really liked it. It was fun to edit. It was a good conversation. It was really just me and Paul doing what we'd do if the camera wasn't there, in a very, very pure sense. It was a lot of fun. But then I think my favorite video might be even our 100th episode, because I watched literally hundreds of hours, because it took a couple of months to make that in advance, if you know what I mean. So I watched through all our old videos and a lot of old footage. So I scoured a lot of stuff that we did, and the amount of easy outtakes to find to put in that I was then like, actually no, legally I don't know if I want to put that in, because I don't think I want to sound on YouTube that, you know, one or the two of us said that to the other one. But yeah, our 100th video was a lot of fun.
I don't know. See, it's very hard. I do like some of our earlier stuff. A lot of our earlier stuff is really is some of my favorite stuff. Like I really do like the end game trailer stuff.
Oh,
That was really fun because that was our first one. So I really enjoyed that because we were also very much just like, let's just do it.
Yeah, that was the let's just
or
make
let's
this
just-
one. Let's just throw this up there. Let's go live.
Yeah, because we had a couple. So like I'm kind of like, ooh, which, the spoiler alert is very funny because it's the only one that I wore a hat.
Oh yeah, and I gave you an unmerciful rough time about it, a lot of which didn't make the edit, thank God, because I would have come across as a real mean dick.
I do like our interviews as well. Our interviews are very good. I like our interviews just simply because, like, literally 5 minutes before the show, like, you got attacked by the light.
Yeah, the light
And
actually fell and caught me straight in the face, and we're in a very small space when we're recording. And then it was like, Paul was really nice about it. He's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I'm looking at the clock, looking at the amount of battery in the camera, going, "No, I can do this." And proceeded to have an out of body experience where I answered questions in a way that I normally wouldn't. And it was because I was staring at a light, going, "That thing's gonna fall and electrocute me."
Like, it was one of those moments where you were like, I was like, do you want to take a minute and stuff? And you were like, no. And like, there's like a panicked energy, like in that thing when I'm asking you questions. It's like I'm going to shoot you if you get the answer wrong or something like that. So I'm like,
well, you had
calm down.
weaponized electricity right beside you, you know, because you were beside that light, and if it fell again, I was like, that's it. Next time it's taking me with it.
I'm gonna say actually Black Mirror. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say the Black Mirror one. I think it's our largest video.
Actually,
Or
the Ford v Ferrari.
Oh, the Ford v Ferrari is very good. Yeah, so that's overtaken us. But the Black Mirror trailer reaction thing I liked because like dark sci-fi is kind of why are me and you really kind of like
Well,
pay off kind of things.
yeah, I think it crosses over a lot of our shared interests too. There's kind of there's no one favorite video, I guess. Usually, whatever one we've done last or whatever one we're editing next is my favorite video. But I'd kind of like to throw it out, and I see Wes asked a question as well. Hi, Wes. Before we answer that, I'm going to throw it out to Brew as well. Brew, if you want to stick in the comments what your favorite video of ours is, that'd be cool. And
I'm not. I'm not even going to hold it to Brew. If anyone
yeah,
wants to put in their favorite video of ours, like we'll definitely pull it apart and analyze it to make sure why it's so popular.
yeah, and we'll probably look at it going, why can't we ever do that again? What did Wes ask? Actually, can you read that? Because this screen's...
What's film you what? So what's a film you hated the trailer but loved the movie? I have one, and I know that it's going to be controversial.
Oh, go.
I hated the trailer of Joker.
That's right. We
Hated
actually,
it.
yeah, and you can see that in our videos because we did a pre-Joker
We did a
video.
Yeah, we did a few kind of comments on it because we did a trailer review and also then a pre-Joker thing as well.
Yeah, if you watch our trailer review, you can see I was all up for it. And yeah, Paul, you genuinely were like, I don't like where this is going.
The first trailer, I was very much just like, nope, don't like this.
Oh, I can see
Sec
why.
Second trailer, you actually probably talked to me a little bit more about the trailer and stuff, convinced me a little bit to the middle. But I was still very iffy about that film, and then when I went to watch it, I was just like, I don't even know why I was like worried.
Yeah, and the blank look on my face is I'm trying to think of. I have loads of good examples when I'm not on the spot because I know there are lots and lots of terrible trailers when the movie turned out to be good. Um,
Um, I think if it was, let's go from Marvel. The
I gotta say, Ant-Man turned out to be exactly what I kind of thought from the trailer. And it was
Yeah.
just mediocre for me.
Hmm.
I will say that a few of the Marvel films, they punched way above their pay grade after watching the trailer. It was like, oh, that's really really good. And maybe the first one of those was I wasn't expecting Civil War to be as good as it turned out to be,
Yeah, I
or
get that.
Winter Soldier, which is one of the best ones.
Yeah, that's true. So you can't think of a trailer that you hated, but a movie that you turned out to be to like.
Oh, I'm sure there's gonna be one. Oh yeah.
Like I'll try. So another one I have is probably, which is going to be funny, Prestige, which is probably
Wow,
another kind of controversial. Fucking hated the trailer.
really?
Hated it. I was just
Hmm.
like, what is this? Because I think it was because I watched The Illusionist,
The
which
Ed
came out a couple of
Norton,
months.
yeah.
Yeah, which came out a couple of months before, and I was just like, this is awful. And the Prestige looked exactly the same to that, and I was just like, nope, do not like this.
They
Don't.
they
Why
were
do I have to
part
watch
of
this?
that kind of twin movie phenomenon, which we also have. We should be doing like this all the time, or whatever it is that we usually do when we've got a link. But yeah, the twin movie phenomenon. We actually, I think we must have covered Prestige and Illusionist. Prestige is 10 times the film, in my opinion, as well. I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah, once again, I don't know why I was worried in any kind of way.
I have thought of an answer though, and it's very
Yeah.
easy when I thought about it for a second. Downton Abbey. Downton Abbey last year was one of the all-time great surprises for me because I wasn't a watcher of the show. I had no experience with the Abbey, or the Downton, or any of it. The trailer did not make me think this was going to be anything other than the stereotype that I thought it was. I sat through that movie and I grew to love it more and more and more and more. It had charm falling out the leg of its trousers. It's stiffly pressed trousers.
It was
It was
very good.
great.
I'm trying to think because it was funny. I watched that film and didn't think at all about the timing or anything like that. And it was a long film. Um, watched Parasite. Actually, really watched Parasite recently.
Oh, good.
Loved the film. Halfway through the film, though, I was just like, "How long is this?" Which is just a little dent in that film.
Yeah, well, to change gears slightly, and I don't think we have any other questions, so we might be. If anybody out there is going to throw one in more, thank you, Brew, and thank you, Wes. If if we've got a little bit of time left, I do want to talk about the concept of time, which is, can a movie be too long? Because I actually don't think a movie can be too long. I think movies in general are becoming longer than they need to. It's a very different statement. I think if a movie is good enough, you won't feel the runtime.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest with that because I watched we all watched Blade Runner and
Yes.
the new Blade Runner 2049 and it's like near close to 3 hours long. Didn't realize the time at all. Didn't
Well,
realize it at all.
yeah.
Like I feel like if I watch James Bond, which I know is going to be 2 hours 40 minutes.
Is it?
Yeah, the new one's going to be 2 hours 40 minutes. I
You,
don't think of James Bond needs to be that long.
no. No.
Like,
No. It really doesn't. And especially considering that was a James Bond that we talked about when we started this channel. I don't know if we ever released that video. James Bond was one of our. I think that was in our early days when we
so
weren't
was it
releasing
the
stuff.
list? It was the list ones.
No, I think it was news. Because the James Bond
Oh
film had
yeah,
lost its director.
yeah.
It's when Train Spotting and Shallow Grave
You
director.
have you can look it up.
Oh yeah, I
Like
have.
we
I
can
have
look up the
Google.
name.
Thank you.
Um,
Million
yeah,
Dollar
it was.
Baby, or yeah,
Yeah,
Slumdog
it was
Millionaire.
when
What the hell's his name?
it was when we lost. Yeah, it was when like the because it was back then called like what is it, James Bond 19 or
Is it? No, it's more than 19 now. It was called 20
it was
something,
the
whatever it was.
was
Yeah,
the, yeah, it was the code name at that
Danny
time when
Boyle.
Danny Boyle.
Yeah,
I was about to say Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig said something to him, wasn't it?
I can't. You know what? I can't remember. We did a whole thing on it as part of. Originally, we were going to do a couple of topical things, and I remember we picked that as a story that we'd researched a bit, and we were going to talk about it because it was all going wrong. And we realized the speed at which you need to edit things to get topical
Mm,
things out was not for us. Um,
yeah,
But yeah, that Bond film has had a hell of a tough time getting to where it is, and
yeah.
then
It's been in,
Corona came along and pushed it out even further.
it's in production hell right now.
Yeah,
Um,
not the only one actually. It's funny that we may as well talk about COVID-19's effect in cinema, which we already talked about a little. But the films like that Bond, which is the production hell, extreme production hell Bond, it's gone through
yeah,
directors and injuries on set, all sorts of stuff.
yeah.
Then Corona came along just as it's coming out. Same thing for New Mutants, which we also talked about in a video.
Why isn't that out yet?
New Mutants, God, it's not easy for me to say.
New
New
Mutants.
Mutants. Uh, it has Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones, and she's
She
a
looks
full-grown
so
adult now.
young.
Yeah,
It's so weird.
but they shot it like 6 years ago because they've been trying to release this thing every few years because they keep retooling it, and they went back into reshoots, and then they were gonna can it all together. Then it was going to be video on demand. Then last year, and we covered this last year, my God, it's got a release date of April 3rd, I think tomorrow is
Yeah,
when it's supposed to have come out.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's if you we have a bunch of movie or a bunch of a video on bad luck or like movies that have bad luck. This one's definitely got it.
yeah.
Like it looks great. Could wasn't the other reason why it didn't come out was because it also had the Fox
That,
like Disney merger as well that was
that's
coming out as
right.
well.
That
Like,
is right. Yeah.
and they didn't want to because it was going to be R-rated. Like they didn't want to release it and like I guess annoy the Disney kind of like merger thing.
Yeah. It
Because
is
if they
so.
release it, then it becomes part of the backlog or the back catalog, which means that if they were going to release anything of Marvel onto the Disney Plus like series,
Yep.
they would have to include it. And that question is still up in the air as well about where they're putting their R-rated stuff.
I think if New Mutants ever comes out, it is the last sign of the apocalypse because everything has tried to keep it from happening. It's like Liverpool winning the English Football League. The universe doesn't want it to happen. I'm sorry out there because I know one of our commenters right now is like he's probably just going to shut off. I'm going to watch the number of people watching and see if it just drops by one in a few seconds when that line goes out.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, there's a deeper, darker side to films not coming out. And we talked about it last week about whether or not they'll start premiering films on demand and through streaming services or etc. Yeah,
Bloodshot, the Vin
the Vin
Diesel
Diesel
film,
one. Yeah,
it's up on YouTube.
The whole thing is on YouTube.
Yeah, you can buy it on you. No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
not. You can buy it now on demand, like for from the YouTube channel.
Yeah, anything that came out the kind of week of the shutdown has same thing with Onward, the latest Pixar movie.
Yeah,
It got a
brilliant
release
film.
and then pushed out. Oh, you saw it?
I've seen it. Yeah, it was before it was released. It had like it was like the storytelling day or the day of storytelling, and they did a limited release of it, and me and the girlfriend got to go see it. We also went to see Birds of Prey at the same time as
Oh,
well. So we
wow.
got to see Birds of Prey and then came back for Onwards as
Very
well.
nice.
So like it is once it comes out, lads, definitely take a look at it. You know,
I will check it out. And I still have to check out Bird Spray. I missed that. Um,
not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I actually really enjoyed it.
oh, that's good.
The name is a little bit long. The title.
The fabulous, the fantabulous, was it the emancipation of one fantabulous Harley Quinn, which was then
Yeah,
just turned into Harley Quinn movie,
or
by the
bird. Yeah, it
marketing
was
people.
because it was Birds of Prey, the fantabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn,
Yeah,
and then it was just Birds of Prey, and now it's just Harley
Harley
Quinn.
Quinn. Yeah, yeah. That marketing department lost a few employees. I've noticed that.
Wes has asked a question there about the Runaways. I checked out Marvel. Have we checked out Marvel's
I
Runaways?
have not. Have you?
I've watched a couple of episodes. Did not leave a lasting impression on me.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Uh,
like I watched like the first couple of episodes, and I like the comic book of Runaways as well. I really do, but it was not great.
well, I might give it a go, but it's gonna have to be after Tiger Man, Tiger King. The
Ooh.
thing that everybody's watching at the moment. Is that called Tiger something? Tiger Man. It's a
Hmm.
Netflix one.
Yeah, that's been exploding as well. And Wes, you are right. Titles can definitely be too long. Like you can definitely give a movie the he's saying whatever about movie
Yeah,
length titles can definitely be too long. I agree as we were saying like movies being a little bit too long it just depends on the actual quality of the storytelling and dragging you in and stuff.
yeah.
Titles like what the hell.
I think that's when somebody just tries to get a little too a little beyond their own level of artsiness. Because I think ever since Doctor Strangelove, which had the kind of the subtitle of "How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Atomic Bomb," that works for a Stanley Kubrick out there movie like that. You don't, he also directed The Shining, and it wasn't called The Shining. Adventures in a hotel on top of a hill in a very very cold time of year.
Yeah.
Like it can work, but very very rarely. So yeah, I think Wes, you're spot on there.
Yeah, it's a bit weird in that kind of sense because you can get movies like what is it, Benjamin Button, the what is this? It's called like
Oh God,
the
yeah,
Extraordinary Tales of Benjamin Button. But then you can also get the Assassination of Jesse James,
by the
and
coward
that full
Robert
time,
Ford.
yeah, and it's a bit weird and kind of like it's the assassination of Jesse James by the coward and it's
Yeah,
just it
that
chugs along.
weirdly that one sort of worked for me. I was like the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. I'm like, oh, I now know it's not a Jesse James film. It's they're going to take another angle. That was one of the few titles where I was like, you know what, that works for me because it builds a little bit of intrigue. But most of the time, yeah, less words, better.
It didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work for me.
That's fair enough.
I was like, well, yeah, I drop a pen.
Huh.
Um, trying to think of other films that the length is too long and stuff like that. But yeah, The Runaways. Yeah, I watched a few episodes and it
Well,
didn't
Wes
do
says
it.
he's. Oh no, he's 3 episodes
These
in on
three
Tiger
episodes
King.
is yeah.
Oh
Um,
right.
if you haven't watched Wes, The Umbrella Academy on Netflix, great.
Yes. And the second season, well, whenever they can now get back to making it, the second
Yeah.
season was confirmed. So it'll be interesting to see where they go.
Mm. Oh, Castlevania season 3. That's what I got to watch as well. Okay, that was very good. You ever
Castlevania,
watch
like
that? It's
the
the video game. You know,
yeah, well, really okay.
there's a Netflix animated series on it. It's really really
Oh,
good.
okay.
Like I would recommend it if you haven't watched it.
You know me, I'm a tough sell on animation sometimes, and it's not because I'm. There is no prejudice here. It's just because there's so much stuff. It it's always that deciding factor of, oh, is it this one or that one? So I will get to it, but I'm going to probably have to get through Tiger Man first because I have a picture of Tiger Man on screen and I'm going to share it with everybody. Yeah, I actually saw a thing about this guy before now that I know that's him. So any documentary series about him will be fabulous because the man is absolute loony in a brilliant way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wes says that he doesn't like the Umbrella Academy. Sorry, Wes, gonna have to kick you out of the chat now. No, no, I'm messing.
I know that's fair enough, though. I think sometimes it's one of those things. I was a little bit unsure about it at first, and it did grow on me. And we, again, I think in our videos, this was one of those ones where we just had a chat between each other on screen. Umbrella Academy was...
What have you been watching?
That's right. And I hadn't made up my mind about it yet, but I think you'd finished it, or vice versa. I can't remember.
I just finished it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to get rid of Tiger Man off our screen.
It was very good. But I was the same. I think we were both the same. It did it took a little bit of time to kind of get into. But after that, I was just like, because I read the comics as well, so some of the story changing was a little bit weird.
Yeah. Which I think sometimes is an advantage for, like, there are things where I know the source material and then I watch a movie and it works out really well, or I watch a series and it works out really well. And sometimes, because now so many things are being based on comic or graphic novel properties, my lack of exposure there sometimes helps, because I don't, I can't go in knowing what it could be or should be. So I think I can get away with or they can get away with a little bit more with me. Although the big win for last year was The Boys, because you were a fan before and a fan after they did it.
I like they changed a lot in that series, but I really liked the changes and stuff. I was fully up for it. If they ever get around to either Transmetropolitan, which I have no idea, I can't say the word. It's called Transmetropolitan. It's a great show.
Okay.
A great comic book. I would really like to see them try to do it in the show. And another one is called 100 Bullets, which is also a great comic book and another great idea for a show.
Cool.
The premise is for 100 bullets is you're given 100 bullets and they're completely untraceable.
Oh.
So like you can kill whoever you want. If the bullets are recovered by any like police or anything like that, it will not in any way be like looked into or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, my problem is I can think of like one person I'd put about 99 into just to be sure. And then keep one just in case they reanimate it as a zombie. Yeah.
So we should talk next week, because we're probably we're thinking of doing the live thing next week as well.
I think so. It'll probably be a slightly different format and probably a little bit shorter. But hang on, there's another question in there. Oh, Richard Armitage, he stars in Castlevania. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So is Bill Nye as well.
Oh, wow.
He's also in it.
Sorry, you were about to say for next week?
So for next week, we should talk the concept of our loop.
Yes.
We'll talk about the loop concept.
Join us next week when we talk about how we've actually discussed what we would do if we had certain powers. And some of it gets a little dark.
The loop one is pretty funny, I have to say. The loop one is pretty good.
So you have to tune in next week to find out what we're talking about there. I think we need to wrap up because we've gone past our original agreed time, and yes, I would like to thank the people for hanging out with us. We're going to do live stuff. We're going to do all sorts of formats of things. I would love the people who've watched this live, and particularly the people who are watching it recorded, to comment down below. If you can hit likes and subscribes, it really does help. If you want to see more of this stuff, in between now and next week, you can go to our video section. There's loads of stuff there that we've talked about. We have loads of favorites, and as Brew kindly said when we asked him what his favorite was, he said he couldn't choose. There were so many.
He also said that he very much liked the Oscar predictions, which I think was also a very good one because we got into a lot of good conversational parts.
Yeah, have we done two of those? I think we did this year.
We've done two of them. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So,
But
do you want to walk us out? Let's see how our first live
yeah.
video ends.
So, which is, yeah, like, subscribe, share us out to everybody. You know, we'll be doing a live show next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. again, UTC time, which
Not
is
actually UTC. I looked up because UTC
is
is
it
currently
UTC
on G.
+1?
It's +1, so we're GMT
Yeah.
+1 or BST if you're in the UK. I hate time
Um,
zones.
yeah. So 8 p.m. Ireland time anyway. Which is, and yeah. If you like this, you know, as I said, like, subscribe, share us out, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, send us questions if you want for next week on Twitter. Our handle is hear us out, which goes, or just using the hashtag asking or ask hear us out tube.
There
So
you go.
thank you. I've been. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
No, I'm just going to say, as we're signing out, if you want to reach in and get a Pringle, all you have to do is go to your left. I'll make them meet. There we go. Okay, take one, and we're done. Movie magic, people.
Yeah. All right,
I've
guys.
ruined it. I've been Patrick,
And I've been Paul, and we've been Hear Us Out.
and this has been live. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.